What's up guys, it's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with another photography video. And today we're going to be talking about building a lens collection. If you're shooting DSLR or mirrorless photography, you probably mastered your kit lens and are looking to pick up another lens or two to kind of open up the options you have when you're going out shooting. So today I want to kind of talk a little bit about my own experience with that and show you some of the lenses that I've been using. And we have them here on the table in front of us. Now on the right side, I've got my Nikon D3400, which is my first DSLR camera, and on that is a 50mm prime f1.8 vintage lens that I got from KEH Camera for about 20 bucks. Real nice pickup there. I've got two budget Yongnuo lenses in the front. One is a 35mm prime, the other is a 50mm prime. Here I have a vintage 28mm Nikkor lens. This is a upgrade to my kit lens, which is basically a Sigma 17 to 50mm 2.8 throughout the entire zoom range. And then in the back we have one of my favorite lenses, which is the Nikkor 70 to 300mm. I'm actually shooting on my original kit lens, which is an 18 to 105 that came with the Nikon D3400 when I bought it. I'm filming on my Nikon D7100, which was my upgrade to the D3400, which unfortunately is hard to shoot video with because there's no microphone port on it. One of the things I wished I had known when I bought the camera, but I kind of made a very hurried decision on that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about when you're in the market to get a new lens or what you should consider, you know, the options that are out there for you. When I first got my D3400, I basically just spent the first 6 months with the camera shooting on my 18 to 105, which was a really good lens. It's a nice zoom range for a beginner. It lets you capture a lot of stuff up close and also get some really good photos just in general. It's not great in low light because the aperture range of f3.5 is not going to allow you to take a lot of good pictures when it's dark outside, and it was not really that great for astrophotography. It was serviceable, but not really what I was looking for. And one of the things I wanted right away was the ability to take photos of the moon, because I kind of bought the DSLR to get into astrophotography, and I wanted to take you know, deep sky object shots, star shots, and shoot the moon quite a bit. So that is why my first lens was the 70 to 300mm telephoto, and that really opened up a lot of things for me. It's actually kind of funny because the first time I ever took that lens out to shoot with, I got one of my best pictures that I've ever taken, which was of an owl up in a tree off of the nature trail. It was pretty cool. It was very exciting to have the ability to reach out that far and actually get a really good shot of this owl. So that was pretty cool, and that's one of the things about getting a telephoto lens. If you're into shooting nature photography or you just want to capture things in detail from far away, picking up a telephoto is going to be a good option for you. The first thing though I would suggest if you have been shooting on your normal kit lens is to pick up a lens that's going to give you much better low light quality photos. So you're going to need an aperture down like around 2 or 1.8 if you can get it. So that's one of the reasons that the prime lenses are very popular. We're speaking specifically mostly with Nikon right now, but this kind of applies for Sony, Canon, and everything else. But these two Yongnuo lenses I picked up, I actually got these on Amazon, and they were both under $80. The 50mm was about 40 bucks, the 35mm was about $75. The 35mm is an f2 and the 50mm is an f1.8, which are excellent apertures for low light. Will help let you take some really nice soft background photos, and they're pretty sharp too when you take the aperture range up a little bit. Both of these lenses were kind of alternatives to the Nikkor Prime 35 and 50 that everyone's always talking about, and they're both very serviceable lenses. Buying on a budget is kind of my thing too, because I don't have a lot of money to spend on lenses, and if you've spent any amount of time looking for a lens, you know how expensive they can be. So the Yongnuo line, I really recommend them. They take great photos. I've got individual reviews for both of those lenses on my page, so you can check those out. Definitely would suggest those if you're looking at picking up a prime lens to kind of broaden your lens collection. Vintage lenses are another great thing. This is a 28mm from like the 1960s. It's a Nikkor lens. I spent about $17 on that on KEH Camera on their used section. And then of course I've got my 50mm 1.8 over here as well. These lenses take excellent quality photos. They are kind of a pain to use because they're manual focus only, so you do have to play with your camera settings a little bit and learn how to manual focus, which can be kind of tough using the viewfinder on the camera. It's a little bit more helpful to use the video preview and actually kind of get it zoomed in and clear to see a clear photo of what you're actually taking a picture of. But I like manual lenses just for the simple fact that it's kind of old school and it's an excellent skill to add to your abilities. You definitely want to know how to shoot in manual mode with your lens in manual focus only. You can get some really great photos that way. And it's also really good to learn for video because you can use these vintage lenses. They have a much smoother focus ring on them when you're trying to shoot video. You won't have all the loud clicks of your autofocus system getting into the background. So that's one of the cool things about getting the vintage lenses. You can usually find them for a pretty decent price. Now, I also suggest upgrading your kit lens, and that's one of the reasons I went with the Sigma f2.8, which is a 17 to 50. It's in that kit zoom range kind of, but the f2.8 allows you to take some very good low-level photos, and you get that aperture range throughout the entire zoom range, which is excellent. You're going to pay a little bit more money for that, but I definitely suggest getting a lens with a fixed aperture throughout the entire zoom range if you can, because it's going to allow you a lot more options when you're shooting, especially in low light. But overall, it's just nice to be able to build a decent, versatile kit of lenses without having to spend a lot of money. That's one of the reasons I shop used. I look on Amazon and KEH Camera quite a bit, because you can find quite a few of these lenses, usually lightly used, and their markdown is going to be pretty incredible on them. So basically what you need to think about whenever you're deciding if you want to upgrade your lenses or get some more lenses is what exactly are you shooting? Are you doing mostly street photography? Are you shooting landscapes? Are you shooting astrophotography? Are you out shooting nature? Do you need the zoom range of a telephoto lens, or are you going to be okay with going with a prime? It's going to come down to basically what your preference is and what you're shooting, but it's definitely going to be a good thing for you once you've mastered your kit lens to go ahead and pick up a variety of lenses, 2 or 3 different lenses that you can start experimenting with and see how you like them and see how they perform. One tip I'll give you too is whenever you get a new lens, don't just take a couple shots and write it off that you don't like the way it performs, you don't like how it feels. Spend a good bit of time with it and figure out, all its little nuances. Every lens has its little things that you have to figure out on it. Pretty much any time I've bought a new lens, I've just taken it out and shot about 500 photos with it just to get the feel of it. Because until you've shot a lot with it in all kinds of different conditions, you're just not really going to, I guess, get a good feel for it. So give it a chance, take a lot of photos. I mean, that's the most important thing with photography, is just get out there and shoot, take a lot of pictures, and that's the main thing. So anyways, guys, I just kind of wanted to give you a look at my lens collection, give you some thoughts on what you should consider if you are looking at getting a new lens after you've mastered your kit lens. If you have any questions about anything in the video, feel free to leave them down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. As always, I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you again next time.